21st Assembly District, of which you are sitting in right now, Merced County and portions of Stanislaus County. And I wanted to welcome you all to the Summit on Fracking, sponsored by the Independent Voter Project here this afternoon. With that, I'd like to introduce Captain Rehice Boyd with the Western States Patrol Association.
Hope you don't mind, I don't particularly like to stand behind podiums, so appreciate you having me attend the event today, and I really wanted to thank the IVP for hosting this, and certainly UC Merced for hosting it. It's my first time to the campus, and it's very exciting to be here. I hope to plan to walk around because I really want to take it all in. So again, thanks to both, and for the Assemblyman for hosting it in his district is wonderful. Really what I want to just do today is give some foundation for the conversations that you're going to hear in the panel discussions. And those are where it's, I think, much more interesting and certainly at times entertaining, because you have a very diverse group of folks who have different views on the topic. And it's really in the diversity of those views that this kind of information becomes very helpful as you formulate your own opinions about hydraulic fracturing, about Monterey Shale, about the things we're going to talk about today.
So I'd like to introduce Congressman Jim Costa, who's going to have a few remarks for us. Congressman, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Assemblyman Adam Gray, and the other members of the legislature that are here. Assemblyman Henry Correa, Assemblywoman Kristen Olson, and State Senator Anthony Cannella, who are going to be, I believe, on the next panel.
Yes, we'll go down and see Justin Malenka representing the local environmental health directors. But I think I'd like to give a broader perspective, and I want to caveat my comments is that I'm not representing the environmental community, because the community is too broad, maybe too many different perspectives, but I'm going to give you some perspectives that I think are reflective of some of the issues that the broader environmental and public health community are concerned about.
Sure. Well, first, good afternoon, and thank you, IVP, for hosting this and for having me here today. I'm pleased to be here representing the 31st District, which is Fresno County, all of southern Fresno County and southern part of the city of Fresno. So let me begin by just talking a little bit about SB4, my perspective, and maybe what I see happening. For those of us who are born and raised from the Central Valley, you know that we have struggled economically for the longest time. You also know, for those of you that are from the southern part of the valley, closer to Fresno, you know that I represent communities like Mendota, San Joaquin, Huron, and others that have an unemployment rate of about 35%, if not higher, some of which are in the low 40s. You also know that in the city of Fresno, the southwestern portion, west of Fresno, in the city, was just recently, not recently, about 5 years ago, named the part of the country that has the highest concentration of poverty anywhere in the nation. So I saw momentum when we started just talking about the economic impact.
Well, good afternoon. Again, I'm Assemblywoman Kristen Olson, represent the 12th Assembly District, which includes portions of Stanislaus and San Joaquin counties, so the northern part of the San Joaquin Valley. And I think my colleagues have spoken well to the question at hand. I'll add just a little bit as to why now and why the subject matter interested me. Why now, I think, is related to the fact that across the nation, there's growing interest and growing opportunities and actual practicing of hydraulic fracturing. And then we had the USC report come out. And so I think it was really that USC report that drove a lot of the beginning of the momentum to do something within the legislative body in the area of fracking. Why it interests me is not dissimilar to what my colleagues, some members Correa and Gray said, and that is, as somebody who was born and raised in Modesto, I've spent my whole life in communities where our counties, more often than not, suffer from double the statewide unemployment levels. And that's not okay. And I am sick and tired of people in the state of California who don't live in the San Joaquin Valley turning their back on that statistic and say the families where you live aren't as important as the families where we live.
I think it can be done safely. It's being done safely. In North Dakota, for example, several states in the union are actually fracking right now, and it is being done safely. And I think we can learn a lot about some of the mistakes that were made. In North Dakota, mistakes were made, and in other parts of the country, mistakes were made. And so as we develop the regulatory framework, so we passed a law. We didn't get into the minutia of exactly what the regulations are going to look like. We have agencies that are going to do that. And so this is the platform that they can build off of. But I believe that it can be done safely. In fact, we've been using technology like this for a long time, and I think while we need to be careful because we are dealing with precious resources, not only oil and land and water, but the health of the workers. But I think it can be done safely, and I think it's been proven.
And finally, Paul Diero, representing Western States Petroleum Association. I think as a lobbyist for the industry, when the issue first arose back east in Pennsylvania with the drilling for natural gas in the Marcellus shale, I think we were losing the debate because we were doing something called fracking. The word fracking does not have very good connotations when you're trying to educate 120 members of the legislature. I will say that when I woke up the morning of the bill introduction deadline and I saw 12 bills on this one subject, I knew that it would be a very busy year.
Well, the next step, first and foremost, is the regulatory process. And I want to get back to the gathering of information, which is what SB4 is going to allow us to do. You made a comment, sir, that what types of hydraulic fracturing have been occurring here in California, perhaps when and where. I would make the argument, and perhaps the Sierra Club has some information I'm unaware of, we don't know. Under SB4, we're going to know. And that's the important point, I think, to end with today. And this is a nice transition into a panel discussion with Mr. Necadone and others on the actual regulatory process. But we don't know right now. And we have passed a law that's going to provide us that information, that's going to be testing our groundwater, that's going to be ensuring that we have the necessary information to provide the safety, to ensure that we have quality air, quality water, quality food, and safe communities.